The sky seems to be falling. The truth about Doomsday Asteroids or near-Earth celestial objects. Now, we had the Younger Dryas comet impact that affected basically the whole Earth. That was the end of the Clovis culture, many other worldwide cultures. And that happened about 13,000 years ago to 14,000 years ago. But we have a lot of scars on Earth from celestial impacts. It seems every few months there's a report somewhere about a new asteroid that's about past dangerously close to Earth, and one that might even impact our small planet, causing, of course, a widespread devastation. We know that 66 million years ago we had an asteroid impact in the Yucatan Peninsula that supposedly put an end to the dinosaurs, and they went extinct, some megafauna, megaflora as well, and it was almost an Earth extinction level event. Now, most of the time, the proximity of an asteroid is overblown or just flat out incorrect. So how can you be sure that Earth won't be decimated tomorrow by an asteroid? Well, you can't. A lot of the recent interstellar comets that have been discovered have been found by amateur astronomers that have telescopes that were aimed towards the sun, low on the horizon. The large space telescopes cannot bend that down, dip that far down, and of course they weren't able to see them coming in. Now, we do have a lot of people that have this as a sky watchers as a hobby, and they do find things. Now, Earth's bombardment, space is vast with a lot of nothing in between various objects, but there's a lot of space debris or dust floating around out there. And as Earth orbits the sun at 108,000 kilometers per hour or 30 kilometers a second, some of that debris smashes through our atmosphere. Most often, this translates into beautiful meteors or shooting stars that streak across the sky. However, there are larger pieces left over from the formation of our solar system, and these could be comets. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. Now, these could be comets, a collection of ice and dust, or asteroids, essentially chunks of rock orbiting our sun. Every so often, though, an asteroid can get nudged by the gravitational effects of planets that put it in what could be a potentially hazardous path with Earth. Each day, Earth is bombarded by about 100 tons of space dust and small debris. Every single day. That's normal. 100 tons. So where does this all go to? Of course, into us. Now, about once a year, a car-sized asteroid slams into our atmosphere, creating a bolide, or extremely bright fireball. Most of the time, the bulk of the asteroid breaks up in our atmosphere, but every so often, some of it makes it to Earth, as was the case of the Chelyabinsk, Russia, Siberia, February 15, 2013, which we never even knew was coming into us, an event where there was an airburst created ahead of the asteroid, also referred to as a meteor, injured about 1,000 people. Now, while the idea that there are no guarantees we would not be wiped off the planet by an asteroid may seem dire, the fact is that there are numerous space agencies, and some private ones, searching the enormous expanse of our sky, seeking out these potentially hazardous asteroids or PHAs. There are also volunteer scientists, astronomers, volunteers just looking through space agency data, because the artificial intelligence, the AIs, cannot pick up what the human eye can discern as moving in the images. And I think I just put up a video about this the other day. About 3,800 volunteers found over 10,000 celestial objects. 10,000. Now, interest in near-Earth asteroids has led to more funding at NASA, where it typically sees a shrinking budget, leading to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory Near-Earth Object Program, NEO for short. The reality is that we now pretty much have a good understanding from the asteroid surveys where all the large asteroids that come too close to Earth are, said Peter Brown, professor at Western University Department of Physics and Astronomy. He said, we know that basically for the next 100 years, none of those have any chance of hitting our Earth. And we also have a map of Golet events, 1994 to 2013, small asteroids that disintegrated in Earth's atmosphere. And of course, most of them are above Antarctica. There's about 3 or 4 or 5 in Antarctica, some about 10 or so in the Arctic. And most of them fall into the areas of the ocean, okay, because most of our planet is ocean. There are those, though, of course, that have fallen onto land. Day and night, basically equal. The diagram plotting gathered from 1994 to 2013 on small asteroids that impacted Earth's atmosphere and disintegrated to create very bright meteors, technically called bolids and more commonly referred to as fireballs. The sizes of the orange dots, daytime impact events, and the blue dots are nighttime impacts, are proportional to the energy released in the impact and show the location of impacts from objects 1 to 20 meters in size, anywhere from 3 feet to 60 feet in size. So this is basically a 10-year activity. Now, initially, the search for 1 kilometer wide, that's 3 feet or larger asteroids, was fueled by the belief that these would be the ones that would be catastrophic. 1 kilometer, what am I saying? 1 kilometer, I'm sorry, okay. So that's pretty big. These would be the ones that would be catastrophic on Earth. If it fell in Antarctica, Brown said repercussions would be felt around the Earth. But the news is good. We have found more than 90% of these, according to Paul Chodas, manager of the Center of NEOs, CNEOs. Then there are the smaller pieces. We've got maybe 50% of the 600 to 700 meter size. It's about 2,000 feet. It's not so small, but anyway, they call them small. But when you get down to the 140 meter size, it's about 400 feet. You know, it's obviously a very small fraction of the total, Brown said. So now, instead of 1,000 objects, we've got to find several tens of thousands. The search then began for even smaller asteroids, about 140 meters. It's about 300 feet, 400 feet. These types of impacts would cause significant local damage, perhaps obliterating a whole city and affecting a province or a state. Now that's how much damage they could have. NEO was formed in 1998, shortly after comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 broke into several pieces and exploded in Jupiter's cloud tops. Then there was the confirmation that an asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. Chodas said all of this wrapped together amped up interest in successfully finding anything that could be a danger. So what happens when we find one that could be a threat to Earth? Chodas said, we deflect it. Well, that's what they're trying to do with the DART missions now. They're going to the Didymos asteroid, a twin asteroid. One is like a mountain, the other is like a truck or something, or a pyramid, and they're going to try and smash the spacecraft into the pyramid, the smaller one, to see if they can deflect it off its trajectory. That's like a trial run. Now, while that might sound more like science fiction, NASA and countries around the world meet every 2 years to create scenarios. There's even an app where you can devise a plan to deflect an asteroid that measures from 300 feet to 1,500 feet in diameter. And this is not a game, it's a tool for those who can build a craft and create a plan. Chodas also conducts exercises by the U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and NASA's Planetary Defense. The most recent Doomsday asteroid is Apophis, named after the Egyptian god of chaos. Initially, there was a small chance, a 2.7% chance, that this 320 kilometer wide asteroid, so that's huge as you can understand, could impact the Earth on Friday, April 13, yes, Friday, April 13, the year 2029, but further calculations, orbits are refined with extended observations, ruled out this possibility. It will definitely be a close pass, however, coming no closer than 31,000 kilometers. For context, the average distance from Earth to the Moon is about 380,000 kilometers. So it's about 1/10 the distance of Earth to the Moon. That's how close it's going to come to us. That's pretty close in cosmological terms. But the drama isn't over yet. There was a further chance that should it pass within a particular region in space dubbed the keyhole, which could alter its course, it could impact the Earth when it passes us once again on April 13, this time a Sunday, not a Friday, April 13 again in the year 2036. But in 2013, NASA scientists concluded the chance of an impact was 1 in a million. Now, a history of impacts. Well, we've got a lot of scars on our Earth. In our planet's early history, as the early years of formation 4.6 billion years ago, we were bombarded by large leftover debris from the forming planets, and even today it's easy to see the scars left on our planet. One of the most famous craters is Meteor Crater in Arizona, known as the Barrington Crater. It's believed that a 40-meter asteroid slammed into Earth with an Earth impact, creating what is now a tourist attraction there. Meteor Crater, one of the youngest and best preserved impact craters on Earth. The crater formed roughly 50,000 years ago when a 30-meter wide, iron-rich meteor weighing 100,000 tons struck in the Arizona desert at an estimated 20 kilometers per second, according to USGS. In Canada, the most famous scar left over from space debris is the Manicouagan crater in Quebec. Quebec and generally Canada has a lot of craters. The crater is about 250 million years old, created when a 5-kilometer wide asteroid impacted our Earth. Now, as for what is out there and the risks to Earth, scientists have a scale to calculate such things. It's called the Torino Impact Scale. Anything that is considered a close encounter ranges from a 2 to a 10. 2 to 7 would be considered concerning or threatening. However, no threat has ever gone higher than 1. Now, as for worrying about an Earth-destroying asteroid, Brown said that the chances of that happening were slim. So this is Unbended Reality. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.